Hey everybody, today I want to talk about a Zeratul bug and bugs in particular in Heroes of the Storm. There's something that I really want to discuss with you guys, and I would like to know what exactly your opinion is on the matter. There's currently a bug that just happened a couple of days ago where we had a game at IEM in China between MVP Black, a Korean team, and Virtus Pro, a European team, playing against each other, and the Koreans were running a Zeratul in this game. And as we could see in the video then later, Zeratul did a very peculiar thing in one of the games. He was in the mid lane while the rest of the two teams was like gathering up at the bot lane on the tribute on Cursed Hollow and getting ready for a team fight. And all of a sudden you could see on the minimap how Zeratul was just like moving super fast across the minimap and was moving from the mid lane into the team fight. And people have been trying to find out how exactly this happened. And the way that it works is actually that Zeratul goes into Shadow Assault instead of the Void Prison. And what you can do with this is you kind of transform the skill into Illidan's Hunt. So normally when you use Shadow Assault, you just attack a target that is within range, and then the hero really speeds up incredibly fast and just like starts to kind of stutter step after the target so that you always close that distance super fast and you can get your extra hits in. And apparently there's a way how you can exploit that a bit, because what it basically does is that it speeds up your hero until you hit that target. If you mid-flight though, on the other hand, suddenly change that target, then you can just simply forego the entire mechanic and you can go throughout a long distance. It's incredibly difficult to use because what you have to do is you kind of have to use your location hotkeys and try to really use that split second where your hero is jumping towards a target to just jump to another location on the map, click on another target, and then suddenly Zeratul will cross the entire map and go straight for the target that you clicked on the other end of it. If you really want to see a bit more about how exactly that works, you can once again check out the description in the YouTube video. I'm going to link a few of the Reddit threads and also videos where it is explained how you do that. But it's not really the question of if it was right by MVP Black or not that I really want to discuss here. The one thing that I really want to talk about is that I really like that. I enjoy that bug. I think it's absolutely awesome, and I think it should not be taken out. And the reason for that is quite simple. It is incredibly difficult to pull off. It's really not all that easy. You think maybe, okay, you have like this timing window that you can use, and how hard can it be just click on another target and really use that exploit and try to get a benefit from that. The problem really is that it's very difficult to use, and especially in the fashion that it really helps you in the game. But I think it's pretty cool if a player can pull it off. You need to have incredible mechanics for that, and we had already a few bugs that went into the same direction. It was not exactly on the same level, but it was kind of similar. You might remember the bug that Rhaegar had, for example, where you could use the Shadow Wolf to attack a target, you leapt towards the target, it's another gap closer that you have. And back in the days there was a bug that if you cancelled the auto attack, you would still stay in wolf form. You wouldn't actually do damage, but you would still finish the leap. So you could really use that, just leap between targets, you could get away, and you could just stay close to a target there as well. So it was pretty cool to pull that off. Much easier, of course, than the Shadow Assault bug that we're currently talking about, but Blizzard patched that out, and I can completely understand why they do that. But for me personally, I think it's actually a way how very good players could distinguish themselves from players that are just good or on an average level. If you think, for example, about older games like StarCraft 1 and a few others as well, there were a lot of mechanics, a lot of things that didn't really work as intended by the designers, but the way that players used it was exactly in a way like this, where you could suddenly just use a bug or like a mechanic that didn't really properly work as intended to really distinguish the really best players, the top level of players, from the rest of them. And I feel like if it's really difficult to use something like that, I think it's pretty cool to see that. And I personally would love for Blizzard to just keep oddities like this in the game. Of course there's a bit of a different meta, like if you have a bug, for example, that doesn't involve any skill whatsoever. We just recently had a bug on Tyrael Sanctification, where when you use Sanctification and you were stunned out, the entire effect of Sanctification would still linger, and that was of course a big problem. Back in the days there was this massive problem that when a Nuburak webbed the hero and Zagara would maul the webbed hero, that the hero would be deleted from the game completely and couldn't even come back into the game. Bugs like that don't need any skill and that completely destroy the game, that's of course something where you really have to say, okay, let's fix that out with a hotfix. But if it's really one of those things that is incredibly difficult to pull off and where you really need a lot of practice and very good mechanics to do that, and that is not completely game breaking, I really think in a situation like this, Blizzard could really think about just leaving that in, because for, I would say, 99-98% of the players that are out there, it won't even matter. Like a player, for example, that just plays the game on a casual basis, or even in one of the lower leagues, will never really achieve a level where he can use a bug like the Zeratul problem and really get a benefit out of it, capitalize on it in a way that he can really make a huge difference. But for a pro player and a team that really practices with team compositions like this, it might make the difference between having a pro team with an incredibly good Zeratul player getting a bit of an advantage over a team that has a player that might not be good enough to really just pull that off. So just a little bit food for thought here. I really would like to see what you guys think about that and what your opinion is on this, because I feel it's pretty cool, and I think that stuff like that would help the game a lot. There's a lot of people that complain that the skill ceiling is not high enough, and I feel like things like this would really work towards the game and really benefit the game. I don't think that you have to necessarily like fix everything in here, and that you can just say, all right, it works as intended. If a player is able to do that, that would be pretty cool. I still expect Blizzard to fix it, so don't get me wrong, but personally I really liked it, and when I saw that, I could really see why people would be like discussing if MVP Black should be punished for that, because it's still something that was abused, and obviously Virtus Pro had no idea about it. But if that was a known thing that you could do with Zeratul, that would be great. And please, like, when you talk about this, don't go down on the issue that Zeratul is already a really good hero in the game, and that something like this might make him complete, like, even more OP or even stronger than he already is, even though of course you have to forego the Void Prison for that. It's not really about the Zeratul in specific, it's just like about the type of bug or the type of like mechanic that we have in the game, if you could exploit something like this. I'm really interested what you guys have to say about that, and of course if you like the discussion, and also give the video a thumbs up on YouTube. But yeah, please let me know in the comments what you think about it, and maybe we can get a good discussion or a good argument being sparked in the comments, because I'm very curious if somebody agrees with me here, or if everybody is just saying all night, well, we have to like ban stuff out like that immediately and make sure that Blizzard fixes it as soon as possible. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for listening, and I'm see you soon guys with more Heroes of the Storm, so have a great day guys. Bye bye.